So it's about 9 in the morning. We're up on Ishweg, and this is the start of the Eiger Ultra Trail races. There's 3 races going on today. One's 101 kilometers, one's 51, one's 35, and there's a beginner of 16. And unbelievably, they're all sold out. 600 people on the 101 kilometer race, 800 for the 51, 500 for the 35, and 800 for the 16. That's 2,100 runners. It's amazing. The 101 kilometer race is has a vertical difference of almost 7 kilometers. The shortest time, they start at 4 o'clock in the morning. Shortest time is about 12 hours, and the longest is about 22 hours. Now today we're going to go up to Eigergletcher and down to Wengeralp. The ride up on the train underneath the north face of the Eiger is about 48 minutes from Grindelwald, and when you get to Kleinscheide you have to change. This is looks almost the same as it did 100 years ago. And then your dropping off point is here. And this is where the train right around the corner goes into the mountain, into the Eiger, and up to the top of Jungfrau. So we're just gonna walk up beside the rail here, up to the end, and yeah, we'll see you up there in just a minute. So just 100 years ago, this would have all been covered in glacial ice. And you can see the morrain here, there, and really good look at it here. This whole valley is filled with ice, probably all the way down to the trees down there. And today we've got the Eiger Ultra happening, which is an ultra difficult 101 kilometer trail run. It's just amazing. There's 1,700 people participating. Actually, there's more than that because there's 3 different routes. One is 101 kilometers. I think one is 50 kilometers and one's 35 kilometers. A mere 35 kilometers. On terrain like this. Unbelievable. So we're going to just go down and join them in reverse order. We're going to go against the flow today. This is an engraving from 1822. You can see, you can't even see the glacier now in Grindelwald. But back up to the morrain. This is mostly limestone that's been ground up by the glacier. It pushes up on the sides, and then after centuries of sitting in the rain, it's fairly solidified. Very hard track. There's lots of great opportunities for flower shots with the mountains on this walk, yeah, you don't find as many people as today, obviously, because the race is going on. It's a really pleasant walk. One of the rocks, the first rocks you run across is this one, and it has a bunch of orange lichen on it. This stuff, this bit of lichen is several hundred years old. It grows less than a millimeter a year. They've dated lichen up to 8,500 years old. Right behind the rock is a nice little spot of arnica, very famous in this area. So this peak right there, snow-capped peak, is Klein Jungfrau. That one in the cloud is Jungfrau. That is Monch, and that is Eiger. And you can see the outline of a roof. What is it? Let me see if I can get it positioned properly. I can't get it there. It's on this ridge, this front ridge. One day. The name of the hut actually is called the Googie Hut because it's right next to the Googie Glacier off to the right hand side. I'm going to throw in a couple pictures here so you can see looking down to where we are and looking up to the hut. The hut itself sleeps
right in front of Morrain. Is one of the most famous or most used base jumping spots, and we'll be over there soon. See you later. Bye.
The hut itself sleeps 25. You can see it on the top left-hand corner there. This is looking down to where we are, and this is looking up. You can sometimes see the red shutters or the flag. And then if you were on the top and you were looking down the other side, this is what you would see, the Altes Glacier. We're just going to take a detour down off of the moraine now into some beautiful areas with flowers, and these are, I love to take these kind of shots so you get down low with the flowers and you have the mountain backgrounds like this. And we're coming up on a little meadow just with some amazing insects.
This is the most hummingbird moths I have seen in one place ever. They love these little flowers. We're about 10 right here. They're hard to see, I'm sure, in the video, but they're, yeah, quite a few around.
And this is what the caterpillar looks like for those hummingbird moths. And you can see this in this other picture. There's one right there in the middle of the picture. I just was able to capture him. These next two bugs, these green bugs, this is arnica, the same flower as above. They used to tie, and this is on a stamp, actually, the same beetle. They used to tie a string around the leg, so and then onto a stick, so the kids had a flying jewel. They're pretty amazing looking beetles. And there's just some more of the beautiful flowers. This is where, in the field of these flowers, is where the hummingbird moths were. And this is the classic alpenrose, which is a it's an evergreen, actually. So when this is all covered in snow, these things are still green underneath, and they bloom for about a month during the summer. And there's some. This is an old stone pine. This one probably was at least 200 years old. It takes 100 years for them to get to be about 6 feet high. And so we're going to drop off around this big pinnacle and go down to a spot where you don't see these very often, but it is also called an alpenrose, but it is an actual rose. And then we're going to weave down around here, and then we drop down into the forest, which is, again, the stone pines. Under good conditions, these things will produce pine nuts, so edible pine nuts. And
Winds completely dropped down here. And this is a great view of Jungfrau, which would be right there gleaming in the sun. Oh, yeah. About to go into the cloud. This is a great midway spot. And if you just want to come from Klein Scheidegg, it's a nice path over. So we will have a little picnic.
so this is where we join the road again. You'll walk up in front of this barn, hang a left, and walk up towards Wengeralp. The hotel you're going to come by is quite famous, and you'll see these rocks on top of the roof. That's to keep the roofs from blowing off in the 250-kilometer-an-hour winds called the föhn up here. Look back at the Eiger with the cloud hugging the north face, and this is the wengeralp. hotel. There have been some very famous people here, including Mendelssohn, Brahms, Wagner, Tchaikovsky, Byron, Wordsworth, Mark Twain, and Marx and Engels. Rooms run from $400 to $600 a night, so it's not cheap, but they're very nice. Very Swissish. We're back in the train here, starting to cloud up, looking like we're going to get a storm, which was predicted. Right up on the saddle there is a little hut that houses about 10 people. I probably won't ever make it up there. You can just barely see it right on the right of the snow there. You'll see the little rooftop, and I'll throw that in a second here. But first, a quick look at the Sphinx that is the building up the top. Finished pretty much the way it looks in 1935. There's the hut, a view back to the Eiger, and now we're just on the train. This part was completed in around the 1850s to get up here. The actual Jungfrau wasn't begun until 1896, the going up to the Jungfrau. And it's had some major problems, but we'll do that in a different walk. They did at one time at the Eiger window, the first window, in 1908. They had a massive explosion, killed a bunch of people, blew up 30 tons of dynamite. You see the stone tiles, the slate tiles on that roof, they are an average of about 150-year lifespan. They do build here with the intent of long-term ownership. And make sure you bring your rain gear, because this happens 150 days out of the year we get rain. So, liquid sunshine. There you go.